In this video, Daily Race A, I get used as a snooker ball. Going into turn 1, Daily Race B, I decide to have a big old crash at the dipper. And in Daily Race C, well, I get a penalty. But was it justified? Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025, week 28, and this week we've gone from the peak of last week down a little bit this week. However, Daily Race A is actually pretty damn good if I do say so myself. You can see we're in the Delta Integrale there, at Sardegna layout B. Doing 6 laps, the grid starts without the full start check on racing hard tyres. Now this car is ridiculously fun. If you've done the time trial, you'll know how good this car actually is. Now, if you don't like the Delta Integrale, and shame on you if you don't like it, but even so, if you don't like it, there are some timestamps there to jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively if you prefer race cars. However, we're dealing with a rally car right now on Daily Race A. The key statistics here, we've raced here 7 times, 26th overall in terms of track usage. We last used this track on the 17th of February, and in terms of this car, it's very easy to understeer if you do carry a bit too much speed, and the tight right-hander that goes uphill here at Sardegna layout B can cause chaos there, especially if people go for moves and then someone misjudges it and people can end up in the barrier, the gravel, all sorts of craziness. Without further ado then, let's jump into this race. Let's have a look at exactly what happens, and I'll give you a lap guide straight after it to help you improve here at Sardegna. Here we are then at the start of this one, and you can see there Kiwi on pole position. We're starting somewhere down in the P8 region. There we go. So you don't have to hold the handbrake here because there is no penalty check. So foot to the floor. I'll put touch control on 1. Do I need it? No is the answer. So foot to the floor, off you go. The all-wheel drive system of the Delta Integrale works wonders apparently. And straight off the bat now, TCR Sonic did try a second gear start here. It does not work, so make sure you do start in that first gear. We're going to head down towards turn 1 then. This is where it gets very dangerous very quickly here as we go onto the brakes. And I get hit from behind there, and that forces me into Dav there. Fortunately, Dav does survive. We've got an audience in the background there. Look at that. We've got Lady Tidge and Diana there. Look at that, watching the race. Anyway, let's get back into this race then. So I'm on the inside here. We're up to P6 right now as we head up to the next corner. And everyone pretty much survives turn 1 apart from a slight tap on the rear end. If nothing major, it will happen there. Some people will outbrake themselves in towards turn 1. It's downhill as well. So very easy to do as we go into this right-hander. This is a long right-hander. You really want to get on the inside here. Use all the camber. Take out of the corner. And there we go. So we've got Robo Mags overhead. Nice to see you, mate. We've got Dav as well as we continue on through here. And we head to the most dangerous corner on this circuit, in my opinion. This right-hander up here. Now, going for moves here is very dangerous. So you do have to be careful here. Hard on the brakes. We'll set it round the outside there. That is an attempt and a half. Not going to work, though, as we are on the inside there. And we continue on out here. Then we head towards this left-hander. Looking on the inside of Robo Mags. Not going to go for it right now, then. Bit dangerous to do that. Danny there struggling on the outside. So we'll take that position off you there. Thank you very much. Up into P5 we go as we go through this left-hander. And we continue on towards the final corner. This one is a tough corner to get right, but when you do nail this, oh my word, you can fly through here. Robomags doesn't quite get it. Service having some issues here in Daily Race A as well. But we get a good run there on Robomags. You remember in some of these gears, you will want to be, well, in a lower gear, a higher gear, I will speak correctly. Then you realise just where the Integrale works. If you remember from the time trial, we exited turn 1 on the Grand Valley South in 4th gear, even though it felt like a 3rd gear corner. Same here, notice there, I go straight up to 4th gear. I'll explain that in the lap guide there as Dav goes rallying rather than racing here as we go into this right-hander. We're going to try around the outside. Very hard to do because of the camber of this corner. And you can see there, Dav survives that absolutely perfectly. Well played, Dav. We're going to head down here then and head towards the dangerous corner once again. Now, for those that don't know, I actually was one of the first people in the world to race on this track because I was at a live event when it got introduced. Now, we're going down the outside here now. This is sketchy as anything, but we managed to outbrake Dav in towards the right-hander, and we do get up into P3. So, yeah, one of the first to race here. It was in the Audi TT Group 4 car in the Manufacturer Series. As we continue on through towards the left-hander, we're going to be on the inside of the Belgian driver. We're going to get it done. Not quite there. Ooh, very tight indeed. We did a rallycross there for a second. Right, we're going to go in towards this right-hander. Trail braking a little bit, slowing the car down, getting on the throttle very early here because this car loves to turn when you're in sort of like the lower rev range. As we continue on out of there then. Now, stay in 5th gear. This is critical here. Notice the gear change, which is about to happen with the Belgian driver there. They go for the gear change. I don't. I stay in 5th. And we are hard on the brakes as we go into this right-hander. We are now up into 2nd place there with Kiwi. A 3.2 second lead there. Now, we did bring it down, but we needed another lap to get close to Kiwi's. Well played Kiwi there on winning the race. We did get fastest lap, though, so I will take that. All in all, I think this is a good race. The cars are grippy enough where everybody can race, especially in the lower driver ratings, where you might see people struggle with some of the road cars just through their understeer. And in terms of scores, 7 out of 8, it's got there. So the point scoring system is down in the pinned comment. Eventually gets there, so if you really want to the first to watch this video, it might not be there just yet, but it will be there. We jump to the lap guide then, brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. As we head towards turn number 1 then, we are looking for the 100 board and the fence on the right hand side. Really good brake marks here. Make sure you don't outbrake yourself for this one. Braking earlier is actually better because you want to clip the curb on the inside and accelerate through the corner. Now you're going to do this in 4th gear, okay? So we're going to drop down the gears, straight line braking, because that's the best way. We release the brakes, turn in, clip the curb, accelerate through. Happy days. 4th gear, and that is much better than a 3rd gear exit. So we continue on here. We're going towards the left-hander. Halfway through this corner, go up to 5th gear. You can do this flat out, nice and easy, as we head towards the next marker, which is the big old red fence on the right-hand side. So they painted it for you to make it really, really obvious here. Now, you actually brake in a straight line and turn in a bit later than you expect. I found that I kept turning in a bit too early. So, turn in a bit later. You can drop to 3rd gear, then short shift to 4th gear, or you can keep it in 4th gear. What do I do on this particular lap? I stay in 4th gear. Now, 60 miles an hour is critical in this car because that's where 4th gear power band really takes off, okay? So, keep that in mind when you are using this car. On the left-hand side then, the Armco turned into a tyre wall there on that left-hand side. This is your brake marker. Now, you can do this corner in 2 ways. Now, you can trail brake all the way in, let the car roll a little bit, or you can go a bit aggressive on the throttle and then hard brake a bit more, which will go for a slower apex, but it could mean a better exit. Let's say then I drop just below 70, nothing major there, and continue on out. If you can maintain 70 though, I think that's the best way to do this. Going to continue on down here then towards the toughest corner on the circuit. Now this corner, if you nail this, is perfect. Stay in 5th gear as well. Head over towards the left-hand side then. And we have this blue into the curb there, the red and white curb in. The start of the blue is your brake marker. It's just before you get to it. I want you to use the blue bit as well. You really want to open this corner up, okay? So notice how I'm heading towards that left-hand side, really opening this corner up, getting the angle of attack right here, and that's what we're going to do right now. So 4th gear, we're then going to chuck it in, staying in 4th gear, I might add. 60 miles an hour there. Notice I mentioned 60 miles an hour. I'm just in that power band. I can accelerate up the hill. Absolutely not a problem. On the right-hand side, once again, we've got the start of the tyre wall here. So earlier on in the lap, we had the start of tyre wall. Exactly the same plan here. You actually want to turn in earlier than you expect for this one. Normally, you want to avoid the curb. In the Delta Integrale, you want to hit the curb. It just lets the car rotate a little bit. I believe the rally suspension is helping out here massively. No idea how it's set up, but look at this. Through we go, 70 miles an hour. Not a problem. Right, we continue on accelerating here. We get to the end of the curb. We turn in. We're going to go up to 5th gear, and I lift off a tiny bit there because I got a bit nervous because it was a good lap. You can do it flat, though, if you really want to go for it. Now, on the right-hand side, we've got the fence. It then goes into an empty fence, so there's no fence there, and then a fence again. So that, where fence to no fence, on the right-hand side, that is your brake marker. Now, you want to stay in 5th gear for this corner, okay? You're going to drop the speed, and you really want to get turned in on the inside. Don't turn in too early, okay? So notice how I turn in here, and I accelerate a bit too late there. I could have done that a tiny bit early, and I did lose a bit of time there on that last corner. But if so, 126.373. You can check that on the leaderboard and in the Delta app, as I said, and the lap will also be in the pinned comment down below. We've already jumped to Daily Race B here then, where we're at Bathurst in Group 4 Machinery. We're doing 5 laps. It's a rolling start on racing hard tyres, and you can adjust the brake balance here in this Group 4 race. Now, interestingly, 5 laps at Bathurst. That does mean it's a long race. This is actually one of the longest Daily Race Bs we've had in a while, and fair play to Gran Turismo for this one, because it's over 11 minutes in length. Speaking of key statistics, 11 times we've used this track. Track and car combo twice. It's not in the top 10 used combo, and we last used this on the 10th of March 2025. That was quite a while ago for Bathurst. In terms of issues, it is hard to overtake here, and the Metacar does have some weight transfer issues, and we'll have a look at that in the race. As I can tell you, I have some issues in this one. Without further ado then, let's jump into this race and let's have a look exactly what happened, followed by a world record lap. Here we are then for the start of Daily Race B. Genesis is absolutely everywhere. Some Ferraris in here. Velasa chose the Scirocco. Well, I don't know whether that's a brave choice or not, but we will see. If you're enjoying this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But without further ado, we head towards turn number 1, where Ugandan there is weaving to get those tyres warm. I'm not sure if that's going to have a massive impact or not, but hey. We continue on through here, going towards the left-hand side of the Spanish driver up ahead in the Lamborghini. We continue on through here, heading up the hill for the first time as we look on the inside. Oh, are we going to get this start? We do indeed, but they managed to maintain position through there on the outside. Very well played to the Spanish driver there, and we remain in P8 for now. So this is where you just have to basically stay in line now until we get to the the finish straight, not the finish straight, the back straight, Tidge, your weapon, because there's nowhere to really overtake on here. And if anything happens, it happens big style here at Bathurst. So through the left we go then. Nothing happening here. And we're going to head to the downhill section then. So we're going to go on the brakes right now. Just slowly taking our time here on this first lap. Make sure we get this right as we go into the right-hander. Then the lefter, the dipper. There is a penalty issue there. And I didn't actually put that in the score sheet this morning on the shorts. But I've updated the score sheet here on Daily Race B accordingly. As we do lose the rear end there on the brakes. Wow, I nearly went off. But I managed to catch it there. Oh, Maratonic in an SLS behind me there. Right, so we're on the back straight here. I'm going to head towards the chase and in towards the braking zone we go. Up ahead, there's a lot of fighting going on there. Looks like there's a Mazda 3. Another FF car chosen here. Now, they go towards the left-hand side. I think, excellent. Right, I'm going to go towards the right-hand side here. Now, Firmino gets a bit of a bump draft here. So that puts them on the right-hand side. Now, there's a little bit of contact happening here, there, and everywhere between the Spanish driver and Firmino. And on our left-hand side, now Sonic then getting a bit of a run here. We've got Max Power getting involved behind as well. Backed out of that as we head towards turn number 1. Little contact there between the Spanish driver and Firmino. And Firmino goes off the circuit. I had to take some avoiding action there to make sure I didn't hit them. And that is going to actually cost me some places there. So a little bit frustrating here. Now, in terms of this race, I was a bit frustrated from Daily Race C. So if you don't know, I do Daily Race C first, then B, then A. Now, we're going to get to C shortly. And you'll see what happens in that race. However, we are with Daily Race B. And I'm a little bit frustrated already at this point. As we go in towards the left-hander here. Then the Spanish driver. Oh, we get very close there. Max Power was into the barrier. So we're going to get on the inside. So we're back up into P8 then as we continue on through. We're sort of where we were last lap behind the Spanish driver going up the mountain, having to sort of wait and see what happens. So let's actually go a bit further on in the lap then. So we're going down the mountain now through the right-hander we go. We're going to go sideways this time. Not quite, but they are up ahead. Okay, we got on the inside of the Spanish driver. Move done and dusted. Happy days. I just saw a penalty in the distance. I want to say that's Ugandan, but don't quote me on that. We'll see what happens as we get a bit further up here then. Max Power going for the bump draft. I appreciate that. Big thank you. And we've got, oh, nice Creedy Mag there with a penalty. Oh, Ugandan had a penalty as well because they're going slow as we go on the outside here. Are we going to get it stopped? Here we are on the brakes then. We do indeed. It's all sorts happening behind. 3 wide into that corner. That is brave. Brave from those behind. We managed to escape that, fortunately. So Maratonic here going to put their indicator on to go, or tell me to go to the right-hand side. I appreciate that. Let's see what we can do here. I did feel I had a lot of pace at this circuit, and my lap guide will show you that as well. So as we go into this right-hander, I am going to just whack on the old indicators to say thank you very much here as we continue on through. There we go. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. That's all to say thank you. As we head up here, though, Ugandan there clips the barrier, and I sort of paid attention to that, and then I followed Ugandan off the circuit because I didn't want them to feel alone there with the mistake. But I managed to bring it back here. Didn't quite hit the barrier. Of course, that's going to slow Maratonic down a bit. So apologies for that as we go down the mountain here. Slowing it down. You saw a bit of weight transfer there from Uganda. And this Genesis suffers from it immensely as we see that on the exit as well. Into the barrier I go. Very unfortunate for myself. Keep it towards the left-hand side here to avoid any issues as we go onto the brakes. Maratonic goes back on past then. So through left-hander. Clips the barrier on the left-hand side. That's very easy. Very easy and very common thing to do here, believe it or not. I know sometimes you do it and you're like, oh my word, why have I done that? But it's very common. Maratonic was getting indicating to let me go down the right-hand side. I'm not sure why. Maybe he felt like I had more pace up the mountain. But again, I appreciate that. I will do the indicators this time because you know I appreciate that all the same. So top of the mountain and up ahead, somebody's gone off there. That's I'm Very Big Boss has gone off. But as we go down here then, obviously I'm trying to make up from the last lap. And as we go through here, I get a bit of weight transfer, pulls me into the barrier. And then I'm sort of just in no man's land there. I clip Mario Sonic. I'm sort of in the way of absolutely everybody here. Nowhere for me to go there. And yeah, we lose a few positions here. Velasquez coming in that Scirocco then. Bit of contact up ahead between the Spanish driver and Mario Sonic as we go into here. More contact between those two then. As we go through here, Mario Sonic gets walled there by the Spanish driver. And we are out of there in P7. We are going to look at that a bit more in detail because I'm not sure whether I could have avoided that or not. It's a very difficult place to actually avoid a crash when it starts happening, but again, we'll have a look in the bloopers there just to make sure we did the right thing or whether we could have improved that. That's giving me a bit of bump drafting there. That Scirocco looking very quick in a straight line then. We do go on by here then, and up ahead there's a fight for P4. Uganda's in P3, all said and done. As we come into here, I felt like they hit the brakes really early there, so I had to take avoiding action. You can see there, I easily would have made the corner, but I took avoiding action. Max Power there comes flying back on the circuit. That's not because of me. Max Power was actually hit by the Spanish driver behind there as we continue to the final lap in the same sort of place here. So I'm Very Big Boss versus Max Power in a Heinz machine. Means, beans, Heinz. For those that remember the advert for that one. Anyway, we're going to go in towards the chase for the final time here on the brakes. And where can we go is the question. Oh, it's all getting close there. And that was max power. Just getting a bit too jumpy on the curve there. Velocity tries to go down the middle. I mean, I was turning right. I couldn't turn any more there, I'm afraid. Max power was on the left-hand side, so I think Velocity must have backed out of that one. But you're up into P5 right now. Through the left we go, and we're going to head towards the line in P5. Again, this was a frustrating one for me personally, because I felt like I could have done a bit better here. But yeah, some mistakes there from the frustrations that you'll see in Daily Race C. So 4.5 out of 8. There's an asterisk there because it has changed from the Daily Race Short to this weekly race guide. So that's just for clarification. I've put reasons against stuff now in the point system as well. So +3 brake belts here in the Genesis. As we head towards turn 1, on the left-hand side, we have the end of the building. That is your brake marker for turn number 1. Now, this lap is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. So this lap is seen in Delta. There's a pro lap. It does get uploaded there. So you can do a like-for-like comparison with the Delta app and actually see where you lose time versus my lap. So I dropped to second gear, then go up to third gear. Highly recommend you do that. Second gear just allows a bit of rotation in this car. Third gear, nice, easy power on the exit then. So we're going to head up towards this right-hander then. On the left-hand side there, we have this escape road there. The end of the escape road is your brake marker. Remember, the balance of performance has changed recently in Group 4 and Group 3, so we all have less power here, so you can actually brake that a little bit later. So that's what we're doing right now. This next corner is an interesting one because you actually want to let the car roll through it a little bit. So I'm in third gear, I let the car roll, and then instantly on the throttle then when I know I can make the corner. If you go on the throttle too early there, you're going to understeer into the barrier, so just be careful. We head up to the left-hander here, so we go through here, and what we're looking for right now is where that white line goes straight. It's quite clear and obvious, so as I see it, I'm going to hit the brakes right now. I'm going to drop to second gear for this corner. You may think, oh, Tidge, second gear is a bit too low, but it allows the car to just get the power to go up the hill. You do have to rev this Genesis as well. So we drop to second gear, we get on the inside, and it just sticks as you come out of here. So notice there, using all the revs, up to third gear, we continue on out of that corner. Now, I'm going to highlight 2 markers here. Now, these aren't braking markers, they are turning markers. They're really helpful. So we've got a tree on the left and a tree on the right. So if you like using the tree on the left, use the one on the left. If you like the one on the right, use the one on the right. If you don't like either of them, then forget about them, that they exist. And you can see all those trees there, but these are the 2 that I'm actually most interested in. This is flat out, of course, as you see, nice and easy. Now, we need to stay in 4th gear now. You may think you need to go to 5th, but stay in 4th. As we go to the left, once you clip the curb, then go to 5th gear, and you'll make it around that corner. If you go to 5th too early, you will understeer into the barrier. Now we get to this little crest of a hill. You need to lift off before you get to this curb, okay? If you don't lift off, the front end's just going to lift up and it'll catch underneath and you'll understeer off. Lift off, let the car turn in, and once the car's turned in, then go full throttle. Notice there, I lifted off and now full throttle because the car's turned in, and I make it around the corner absolutely fine. Head over towards the left-hand side, and then we're going to point towards the bottom square, okay? Notice where I'm pointing right now. I'm pointing towards where that square is. I'm using the Audi R8 sign as my brake marker, so it's just hit the top of the mirror, so I'm going to hit the brakes. I need to brake in a straight line only in this car, especially in this car. So I'm going to hard on the brakes, lift off, and then hard on the brakes, lift off, then hard on the brakes, and third gear at the very end there. Try to brake a little bit through here, then we dab the brakes when we see the end of the curb on the right-hand side, and we're going to chuck the car in. Be careful you don't cut the dipper too much. It's really annoying that this still exists. This is a penalty issue in my opinion. It's why it's down scored in terms of the point system, because you get a penalty for cutting this perfectly. Very, very annoying. We continue on through there then, and we're going to look out for now on the right hand side this black into white concrete barrier. This is your first initial brake marker, okay? So you're going to dab the brakes and just let the car roll a little bit through this corner. The reason for that, if you go too aggressive here, as I saw in the race, my rear went out. Just nice and smooth through here. And that's all I want you to do there. Notice it's smooth. Once we're in a straight line, we drop to second gear. Get as close, but not too close to the barrier. That's as close as you want to get there. Then second gear through, up to third gear, and now we're going to accelerate towards the chase. Nice and easy here. So flat out in 5th gear, don't go to 6th gear. And on the right hand side, we are getting to the very end of the sign event after the 150 board. It's literally the red S or the white S, whichever one you want to choose here before the 100. And this is your brake marker. We are braking so late for this corner now. It's quite incredible, actually. It's quite thrilling, actually, that we're braking so late now for this corner. So hard on the brakes, turn in a bit later here, and then don't clip the curb too much. That actually cost me a bit of time because I clipped it there as well. You need to avoid clipping it at all to really maximize your time here. We're going to head towards the final corner then. On the right-hand side, we have the big old tree, and then we've got a lamppost up ahead. You need to brake in the middle of these 2 markers, okay? So it's after the tree and before the lamppost. If you do that, you will make this corner absolutely fine. So we're going to drop to second gear for this corner. Now, if you brake at the lamppost, you're going too late and you're going to go too deep. It's going to cost you time. Second gear, we turn in, avoid clipping the curb, but get close to it. Accelerate through the corner. Second gear, up to third. Accelerate towards the line. And there we have 2:13.7, which was the world record at the time. 2:13.786. Right, so that was brought to you by Coach Dave Academy. We jump to Daily Race C then, where we're at Deep Forest Raceway in reverse, in Group 3 cars, and I'm in a liveried car as well. How about that? We're doing 15 laps here at Deep Forest Raceway in reverse. It's a rolling start, racing medium tyres, and you will have to pit here. ×3 fuel, ×7 tyre wear, and you can adjust the brake balance here in Group 3. Now, I'm in the GTR for the race, however, in the practice lap, I actually do it in the Peugeot RCZ. I've used this track 8 times. It's the 23rd most used track. Track and car combo 5 times. It's not a top 10 used combo. And we last used this on the 30th of December 2024. So a little while ago for this reverse layout. Slipstream does seem a bit OP here, and tyre wear is extreme. So the combination of those two means braking zones absolutely vary massively each and every lap, because you might have super slipstream and really worn tyres. Without further ado then, let's jump into this race and let's see exactly why I was frustrated in Daily Race B, even though this is Daily Race C. Here we are then for this final race, and Huggy starting in pole position. Well played to you, Huggy, in that McLaren 650S. I chose the Nissan GTR because it's a very good car, to be honest with you. If you are enjoying this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. But we head towards turn number 1 here for the first time of asking, as we go on the brakes there, and oh my word, Max Power absolutely sent it round the outside there. Managed to get it stopped though as we continue on out, and they're 3 wide up ahead then Ugandan in that AMG GT3 Evo as we head down here then, an Audi R8 up ahead of Firmino as we go into this corner then. We're gonna, oh hello, everyone slows down, and Max Power just benefits crazy there. You see my smile on my face. I'm just like, Max Power, you cheeky monkey. Anyway, through we go then. He gets those positions. He's up 3 positions. 3 from 1 corner there. That's incredible. As we continue into here then, slight tap on Firmino. I couldn't really tell where Firmino was. Kept going off racing line, then back onto racing line. And I really did struggle with the driver up ahead. Anyway, we continue on through here as we exit out of that really awkward place with sausages absolutely everywhere. It sends you flying if you do clip them. We're going to head down towards the last corner and actually start the next lap, to be honest with you, because not much happens there. And we are very close to this Audi R8 then. So we come into here then. We're going to go on the brakes. The Nissan GTR actually has insane brakes. It's actually a handling car, this, not a speed car, believe it or not. So we continue on out of here then. We're looking to try and get an advantage over the Audi R8. We don't quite get it then. And we are in the slipstream though of like, what's this? Like treble slipstream with the cars up ahead. So let's see what we can do then. We're slowly getting closer to this Audi R8. We've got Marisonic up ahead in the GTR. We see another Porsche there. It's like Max Power's teammate, doesn't it? As we go onto the brakes here then. And you can see that, oh, so close. Everyone is so close together. It's 4 wide up ahead, believe it or not. It drops to 3 wide and everyone is absolutely everywhere. And we lose out there. Firmino gains a couple of spots because of the action there. As we continue on through here then, the server lagged and also a bit of OC there from Mario Sonic. And then Fredo comes back in the racing line. You can see here, like, I was just losing out here just because of unfortunate incidents right now. And it does become frustrating when this happens because I knew I had the pace here, but I was just losing out just due to the situations happening up ahead. This is what happens though if you do start towards the back of the grid here as we continue on through. But we're not that far off the lead here, 7 seconds. Still plenty to play for as we go onto the brakes then here for the second time asking in this last corner. So we're going to accelerate out of this corner in this Nissan GTR. I'll tell you what, that Toyota Supra behind is still very quick in a straight line. Okay, and we're about to see that now. So I'm in the slipstream of the Porsche 911 up ahead. We are catching, but look at the Supra. It's absolutely flying right now as we head down here then on the inside of the Porsche. Do we get it done? Yes, we do. We're going to head up here, head over towards that left-hand side, and we're going to go on the brakes right now, but focus your attention on that rear view mirror on the inside. The Porsche goes, it sort of taps us. We've got nowhere to go, and we get spun round there, and you can see me shaking my head there. I was a bit frustrated with that one. But not as frustrated as to what is about to happen. So look up ahead here then. We've got cars coming together here. So Velasquez gets hit too by the Supra. Supra slows down. And then we hit the Porsche who hits the brakes because of the Supra. So we tap them. But we get the 3-second penalty. Nobody got a penalty for the first corner, but we get a 3. Yeah, I was extremely frustrated at this point. I was like, oh my word, this is just stupid. Absolutely stupid. We were unlucky. We avoided all the incidents earlier on with all the cars coming together. We stayed out of the way, and then we get a penalty for something so silly. But I'll look at it in the bloopers just to show you how stupid that is. I have seen it since, and I think it's even more stupid than I'm even describing right now. But even so, we do catch up to Fredo on lap number 5. At this point, I'm on a bit of a mission here to try and catch up. So we send it down the inside now. I'm going to get a bit more aggressive with my moves here because I need to make some places or do something right now. Do remember it's time 7 tyre wear here, so each lap is 7 laps in terms of tyre wear. We've got some people coming in on lap number 6. Somebody pitted on lap 3, believe it or not. The Greek driver behind Aries pitted on lap number 3. I didn't show that just because I'm going to tell you now. Now, up ahead, I noticed they stay out, and I was like, okay, whatever they're doing up ahead, I'm doing the opposite. They stayed out, I come in the pits, and what I'm going to do now is just put on a fresh set of medium tyres in this lovely liveried TCR Nissan Nismo GTR. Right, accelerate out of here then, and this is a very, 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 very dangerous pit lane, okay? I can't tell you how dangerous this is. If you've already got people who have pit, watch this. So we come out of the pits then, and behind there, the Audi R8 sent it down the inside there. I think that was ghosted, fortunately, but that is such a dangerous, dangerous place there in terms of pit lane exit and where cars are. Bang on the racing line. Now, Firmino there just runs a bit wide there on the exit. That is a track limit penalty. So you are about to see Firmino get a 0.5 second penalty. There it is. However, I felt like I needed to get by quick because I'd already hit the pits. So I've obviously got fresher tyres. I need to get by very quickly. So I send it down the inside here. Do we get it stopped? Yes, we do. We're through now into P11 and we can start chasing. Chasing as hard and as quick as we possibly can. So bullet up ahead, just come out the pits here in the Lamborghini Huracan. So we go onto the brakes right now. And as we go on the brakes, we nearly go into the back of them. Notice that I stayed on the brakes longer to avoid hitting the Lamborghini there. And that does cost me on the exit. But hey, I avoid hitting somebody, which is the name of the game. So through the left we go here. We have caught up to them again. We've got the British driver up ahead in the RCZ. That's the car I use in the qualifying or the lap guide I'm about to show you in a second. As we go down the inside of the Lamborghini, do we get it stopped? Yes, we do. We're in the slipstream of the Peugeot RCZ, so we should be absolutely fine here on the exit. Let's see what happens. Yes, we are indeed, as we stay in that slipstream. We advance further on then, and you can see here we've got a big old battle going on. Sonic did pit on that lap number 6. I'm not sure about P13 Black. The British driver up ahead didn't. I think they pit actually a lap later than me. As we continue on through here, then we are actually on the outside of the British driver right now as we go into this left-hander. Now, this is very hard to do, staying on the outside here, but they give me room. Fair play as we continue on through here. We're still side by side right now as we go through here. This is really good racing, to be fair. Very hard to go side by side through there. So very well played to that driver on my left-hand side as we go onto the brakes. I'm not going to go into details with names here in terms of that. I'm just keeping it nice and steady. PG. No politicals. Let's just keep on going as they actually get a nice undercut on my inside there in the RCZ. That RCZ's quick now, by the way. I've no idea when that suddenly became a powerhouse and a half. I love that car, and I still point out that I was probably one of the first people to discover how good that car was in GT Sports when I did a 157 at Suzuka, which was a very good lap at the time. Hey, we're going to go hard on the brakes here then as we go into this right-hander. And remember, by the way, I'm just putting this out there, the Peugeot is the only trophy I got from the live events when I represented Peugeot in the Manufacturer Series at the Red Bull Ring. Happy days indeed. So it wasn't Red Bull Ring, at Salzburg. All right, anyway, we're going to continue on in this race then. So it's on the outside of this Peugeot. We're right behind P13 Black right now in the Ferrari 458. In towards the left-hander we go, still side by side. I think there's a small bit of contact there, nothing major though. As we go into this right-hander, we're still on the outside of the British driver. We do get a bit of a run on the exit. We're still there, and we do manage to stay in the slipstream as well. This does mean we should get the position up into P9. We go. Happy days indeed. And finally, we are making some progress at least as we go onto the brakes then. Oh, we sent it down the inside. I didn't mean to do that, but the brakes in this Nissan are so good that I can brake like 10, 15, 20 meters later than everybody else, apparently. So as we go through here, then P13 Black does remain in position as we advance to lap number 13. They're side by side once again. And you can see how this costs you time very quickly here. Now, these packs form, so if you look at the top right-hand side with the mini-map, these packs form very, very quickly. So we've got our pack, there's a pack up ahead, there's a pack up ahead of them. We've got Hoggy on his own in the lead, just having fun by himself there. But you can't break away. Because of the extreme slipstream, it's very, well, you can break away. It's just very difficult to break away. See now the RCZ on the left-hand side in the slipstream of P13 Black. We're in the slipstream of Mario Sonic here as we're going to head onto the brakes right now, slowing the car down. Can we get the move defended here? And no, the RCZ gets a fantastic run on the outside there. So they are going to have that position. So I have to lift off here because I think I may have pushed him a little bit there, and that was not my intentions. And I don't drive like that. Right, okay, here we are, lap 14 then. So we're still in this crazy battle here. Marisonic goes defensive here as we head towards the right-hander as we slow it down now. So through the right-hander we go. Can we get a run? Not quite then as we're going to fall into line then. The final lap. Here we go. What can we do then? I thought I was going to get a penalty for that, but I don't, thankfully. You can cut the white line a little bit there on the inside. Hard on the brakes. Right on the outside of Marisonic here. Remember, Marisonic has arguably 7 laps older tyres, but it's just 1 lap. It's just the time 7 tyre wear. Anyway, we do get a good run there as we head towards the end of this race. Then P13 Black up ahead. The British driver has gone past P13 Black then. So over towards the left-hand side we go. P13, Black went a little bit wide there, was compromised a little bit. So we're going to send it down the inside here for the final time. Into the final corner we go then. There's a small bit of contact, but I did have an overlap there, in my opinion, as we continue on through here. We are going to leave some space on the exit. And look at this, Marisonic behind. It's going to be a three-way drag race to the line. Now, we don't do these very often. Who's going to get it? That's the question. And look at that, 1,000th Marisonic gets it from the Ferrari, and we're the ones that lose out in the end. So you can see why I was frustrated with this race. That penalty, and then you just get stuck in this battle, and I felt I had a lot more pace. Felt like I could have been up there on the podium. But you have these days sometimes, you really do. Now, the score, 6.5 out of 10. It has changed a little bit because I forgot about the penalty issue in the middle of the sector when I was doing the lap guide. Speaking of which, we jump to that right now. So this is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you check that out in the comment, in the pinned comment, and the description. It's right at the top there. We're using -1 brake balance for those wondering in this Peugeot RCZ. Now let's get on with the lap here. So on the right hand side, we have this orange barrier which is broken up there. This is your turning marker, okay? You might want to lift a little bit if you want to, if you're struggling with understeer. But this is your turning marker. You turn in when that gets to the edge of your screen on the right hand side, or a bit before if you're on chase cam right now. We turn in here, and we have to clip the boards there. We didn't want to do that, but then we're looking for the 100 board. We're going to brake just before the 100 board hits the edge of our screen on that left-hand side, okay? Brake in a straight line, that's the best way and most efficient way to brake, okay? Do not start turning until you're very much in first gear. So let's see what happens right now. So third, second, first, and then we release the brakes. We then start to turn instantly on the throttle there. MR cars benefit so much on the exit of this corner, so arguably the RCZ is better. The Nissan was very good, by the way, in time trial. We accelerate down here, then we have the start of the red and white curbing on the left-hand side. I actually want you to go onto this red and white curbing as well to open up the angle of this corner. So the start of this curb is your brake marker. You're going to go down to second gear. You do this both in the Nissan and in the Peugeot. So I imagine most cars are going to be second gear for this corner. But brake, once again, in a straight line. Start to release the brakes and then turn in. Clip the curb. Accelerate very quickly here. You have to be aggressive. We're going to turn into this one in third gear. We're going to lift off a little bit. Once we clip the curb, we can accelerate through there. Be careful of power oversteer. That will happen in some cars. Turn in early, but not too early on that green stuff because you want to straight line this bit, okay? So at the end of the green stuff is your brake marker. Notice I've lifted off here. I'm literally about to hit the brakes. You want to brake in a straight line towards the next corner. And then when you get to the corner, I want you to start releasing the brakes so you can actually turn around it. So second gear, notice how I start releasing it now. I can then let the car turn. Now we have these arrows here. The last two, once they get to the center of your screen, that is your accelerating marker. You can't see the exit of the corner yet, but guess what? You know it's coming up because they are in the center of your screen. So start accelerating right now. You may have to adjust your throttle accordingly just because you can get some oversteer on the exit there. We use all of the exit here. Now the end of the tunnel, so we've got the sector line, we've got the end of the curb, we've got the orange on the Armco. All these are brake markers right now. This is your brake marker. You brake just before you get to them. Now, you may want to short shift on the exit of this corner. It will depend on the car in this situation. I found the RCZ benefited on a short shift through this corner, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Slight lift over towards the right-hand side, accelerate, then over towards the left-hand side, cut a little bit the inside then, and then continue on, cut a bit of the right-hand side there. You have to cut quite a bit of that, otherwise you're going to understeer into the barrier there. The 50 board is your final brake marker. I actually want you to point towards the corner as you go on the brakes there. So you're going to brake in a straight line, but diagonally, if that makes any sense at all. And the reason for that, it just gives you that little bit of extra braking. And this is a long right-hander. It's effectively a hairpin, just a long hairpin. That's how I was diagonal. I release the brakes, and I'm looking for the orange painted barrier there. So you got the red and white tire wall. It then goes orange. As the orange gets to the center of your screen, start accelerating. Really good accelerating marker. There's a few of these around Deep Forest in reverse. It's great stuff. And use that as your accelerating marker. Okay. Careful on exit. There is a little bit of a bump there that can spin you out. There it is. I'll be accelerate towards the line. Once again, you can check this lap out on the Delta app for Coach Dave Academy. And believe it or not, it's a pro lap as well, so you can actually load my pro laps once they're uploaded, which should be same day on the Monday. Right, here's a blooper then. So this is my crash at Bathurst. So what happens here? So you see there, the weight transfers. Could I have done anything more? Yeah, I probably should have gone hard on the brakes there to try and avoid it. It's very hard situational, that, because if you remotely delay like I did there, yeah, you go. Yeah, I should have hit the brakes there and held the brakes there, in my opinion. Let's have a look at it from this perspective. Then this is the Lamborghini. See me up ahead. I'm into the barrier. I released the brakes there, but yeah, even if I'd have got on the brakes, I may have just carried on anyway. But I think that might have been the better choice between the two. We're on board the Lamborghini though, because what happened with them and Mario Sonic? So there's a bit of contact there, nothing major. We go into here. So they've sent it on the inside. They release the brakes a little bit, and then they just accelerate Mario Sonic into. Yeah, that's. Yeah, you should have done better there, Spanish driver. Right, here is on the brakes. I would have made this corner easy, I'm sure. So notice that I take avoiding action, and then Max Power gets hit from behind. So Max Power does the smart thing here. Absolutely plants himself. 2 wheels back onto the circuit. We'll play max power. That looks absolutely awesome. Right, so this is Daily Race C then, in terms of bloopers. Not have many bloopers today, so through the left-hander we go. Oh, they delayed their braking a lot here, and yeah, they sort of just lean on me there, which forces me round. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but anyway, we continue on. I can see why I was frustrated with that. This is the incident that I got the penalty for. So watch what happens here. So the Supra, slight tap from the Porsche, so they go into them, so the Supra waits up for them. I tap the Porsche because it basically stopped on the corner. That's not my fault, in my opinion. I get the 3-second penalty. Very annoying. If you have enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. As I've mentioned throughout this video is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app, so make sure you do check that out in the description and the pinned comment as well. And then you can compare your laps to mine and see where you are going slower or maybe even quicker. Big thank you as always for watching. Check out all the other partners as well, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.